Good morning and welcome to Military Hour. We have a special guest with us this morning, Mrs. Kelly Elrod of Team Red, White, and Blue. In my mind, kind of a new organization because I don't know when it was started, but I know you guys are doing a lot of really good things. So fill us in on what Team Red, White, and Blue is doing and what you're about.
So Team Red, White, and Blue was founded about 5 years ago. A bunch of Army West Point guys that are really, really awesome.
Ooh.
They came to realize that veterans that are separating from service need support system. You look at the reintegration back into society is really difficult for a veteran, especially when you transfer back home. Your community doesn't really understand what kind of situations you've been faced with when you're in the service. They don't understand what your job was. They ask a lot of questions, but they don't really understand. So to try to involve the community and get them aware of what a veteran needs and give them that support is basically the reason why they started looking into, that question. What is a veteran? What are their needs? That's basically where it started.
Needs, interests, the whole gamut of reintegrating into society. And Team Red, White, and Blue, so it was actually the brainchild of West Point grads and servicemen that have returned from overseas that were in combat theater and whatnot.
Yep.
And, of course, we all know it takes everybody to do a job in the military, as with any other big entity. It takes everybody working together. That's why it's a team. So Team Red, White, and Blue, I don't think it could be more apropos. And when I first heard about it, I thought, well, now this is really good, especially for younger veterans in the last 15, even 20 years that are returning from multiple deployments, which in itself is a hardship, not only on the troops but on the families as well. But there's something unique that I believe I understand, that this is open to not only veterans, but the public at large. Is that right? Can you tell us more about how that works?
So we felt the need to have an all-inclusive approach to helping a veteran. So if the end result is you want this veteran to feel active and engaged and welcome in their community, that involving the community members themselves is a great way to achieve your goals. So I think the divide is maybe 70% military and then 30% civilian for our 105,000 members across the country. There's about 181 different chapters all across the world. There's chapters in Japan and Korea. And
repeat those stateside numbers again. You've been in existence 5 years, and you have how many members right now?
105,000 roughly.
105. And how many chapters?
181.
I'd say that's explosive growth. So there's obviously a need out there, and sounds like you're meeting it. Now, what are some of the ways or some of the things that you do to engage the troops and the public?
So Team Red, White, and Blue's mission is to enrich the lives of America's veterans by connecting them to their community through physical and social activities. So everybody asks, what is enrichment? So we kind of broke it down to 3 different areas. You have health, purpose, and people. So we help members with their health, and that includes the physical health as well as the mental health. So we bring people together and do physical activities and social activities to kind of get them out and get them active. So we run, we hike, we bike, we go paddleboarding. Panama City has gone skydiving twice. We're going to do it again this fall.
Oh, there you go.
We open it up to everybody in the whole southeast area. We had, I think, 13 chapters last year participate.
Terrific.
So, and then we do community service projects, so veterans that can't run or have physical disabilities.
Where old geezers like me can walk.
Can participate, and it's a big community effort. And so in the end of that, their mental health has been enriched and their physical health has been enriched.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm excited about the organization because I just think you're really doing something that's necessary, timely, and the part about coalescing with the public and having them step up to help veterans as well is just terrific. Not saying that they never have done that. Yeah, they have. But I think percentage-wise, when I hear 70-30, that's strong. So obviously they're connecting with the idea of helping veterans, and nothing could be better for the veteran community. And of course, here we know that it's a big veteran support community. So I think the first time I met you, you were kind of sore. You had some soreness going on.
I think I ran my marathon the day before I met you, or 2 days before.
That's what you said, yeah.
I debated, my thing is I like to run with the flag. I'm slow, so I always run with the flag. And I had debated for a while. First marathon, I don't know what it's going to be like. Should I run with the flag? And everybody said, don't do it. But my thing was, what if I got halfway through and I'm like, I can't do this? Mentally, a marathon is maybe, 20% physical and 80% mental. So I broke down, said I'm going to run with the flag, bought, fancy handle grip, and tried to find the lightest pole possible.
What was the length? How many miles?
26.2.
26.2?
Yep.
Miles?
Miles.
26.2 miles.
Mm-hmm. First time I ever been to New Orleans, too. Most people go there and go down on Bourbon Street and have fun, and I went there to run, so it's a little different, but...
That is really impressive, because my longest forced march when I was in the Army was like 17, and Kelly, I was ready to just die.
Yeah.
Of course, we had a full pack, ruck and all that, but 26.2 miles.
Yeah,
Kudos.
We got out there along Lake Pontchartrain, and there was a couple spots where I was like, what am I doing?
Fabulous. And you told me you're a mother of 3.
Yes.
And you're a Navy veteran.
Yes, sir.
And so thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. It takes everybody. And very proud of that. But I'm not going to, I think every time I see you, I'm going to go, hey, 26.2, how are you? Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, the part about Team RWB is the people are amazing. You want to go and run everywhere with them. They welcome you. I've never met you in my life, but they come up and give you hugs, and
yeah.
You're running, you're tired, they're motivating you the whole time, they're high-fiving you. You got people that are volunteers out on the side at the water stations cheering you on. So that's the second aspect of the enrichment process is the people. You have an overall indicator of quality life is the personal relationships and the people that you surround yourself with. We lose that a lot in today's age with all the social media and not really interacting on a physical level or a personal level with anybody. It's all typing something and getting likes and comments. So we're trying to break that by getting people out and active. Even social events, we go to restaurants and do trivia night, try to get everybody out and just
Watch out for the old people. If you're doing old trivia, but new trivia, it's like you win.
Yep.
We probably wouldn't get it.
A lot more face-to-face interactions.
You said something, and that's it right there, the face-to-face interactions. The technology, the texting, and all that kind of thing, all well and good. But you lose that tonal inflection and reading the facial reactions and whatnot, the body language, so to speak. And it's a necessary part of communication. Because I could say, just for an example, I could say, Kelly, have a seat. And that would be kind of directional and ask you to please be comfortable, have a seat. Or I could change that, same words, Kelly, have a seat. Now I've just ordered you in a harsh way to do something. So when you're texting or, you lose that tonal inflection. And if we're going to communicate with each other, we need to be able to do that. To hear and see, and even in touch and feel. I'm a hugger, and my wife's a hugger, and we just are because, and I say it very simply, I want to be able to hug you today because I'm not promised tomorrow or the next breath. Mm-hmm. So, let's be good to each other today. If we can help each other, let's help each other today.
Yeah. It's extremely hard to, help people feel comfortable and welcome and even find, those relationships inside their community through an email or social media posts. So we try to create this overall bond to improve their quality of life. So you'll never find a Team RWB member where somebody says, "Man, that person was just rude." I don't understand, like their attitude. What's their problem? You'll never find that.
Yeah,
they're just authentic, genuine, nice people that all have something in common, and they all want to interact to help veterans.
The funny thing to me, as I see some of these things evolving, even the VSOs that are changing, like moving the smoking outside and such, and making sure there's more to do for families with their children. When I was finished and I went to some of the VSOs, I didn't want to take my wife and kids there. I mean, I just didn't, because I didn't think it was really a good place for my kids. So now that awareness is starting to come to fruition, that, hey, we need to be doing things for the families, for the kids, and some of the posts are getting the message, some of them aren't. Those that get the message, I believe, will thrive and will live on, so that we can turn those over to all you younger vets, because we need you, And if people begin to think about it, they'll stop the rudeness, because we need to all be working together, coalescing to help one another. So,
and that's one of the reasons why we started interacting the community and getting community members involved, and reaching out to other veteran service organizations to say, hey, this is what we do. Would you be interested in letting us come out and talk, or tell you guys, because we've been pretty well received here in Bay County. The people that I talk to wish that this was around when they got out, or when they came back from Vietnam. There wasn't support, there wasn't love, and they didn't have a group to say, hey, come out and let's just get together and we'll talk. And so I get that a lot, like, man, if my dad or my uncle or my grandpa had this, he might not have committed suicide, or just many different levels of need out there. So
sure.
We try to be like really inclusive of everything. And
none of us know how the smallest of things could be that preventative for that person that may have even been thinking about, completing a suicide, or whatever the case, or taking that drink they shouldn't take. Or you never know what you're doing, how it's going to affect somebody positively. I think everybody knows how to affect people negatively, like we spoke about. If somebody goes in to an organization, a VSO, and they're not welcomed, well, guess what? They don't feel welcome, not coming back. Yeah. But what I'm seeing here, and I could be completely wrong, but it's almost like what Team RWB is doing is trying to get us back to a place where the communities were when I was growing up. Everybody respected the World War II vets as I was growing up. The communities were involved. Everybody knew their neighbors. We didn't have to lock doors. Now, I'm not saying we'll get back to that point, but pretty much what you're saying is that everybody gets to know one another at that personal level, as well as being involved together doing something that's positive rather than something that's negative. So, I mean, I just think that the organization is a good organization, and it's time. It's also time for you younger vets to get in these VSOs, make them better, take them over. It's your turn.
And we kind of, play on veterans' passion. They're very passionate about what they did in the service, and then they get out and searching for something to funnel and channel their energy into now that they aren't completely tied up on a daily basis with their mission and, helping and saving lives. And so the passion part, when somebody separates from the military, they're almost seeking another position.
Sure.
So they tend to lose their sense of purpose because there's more hands in the food chain, so they don't really know where they fit in. They might be put into a different role than they were expecting when they separated. Mm-hmm. So they kind of lose that vision. So they lose their health insurance, their friends, their identity. And so their motivation level sometimes dwindles and causes new stresses that they didn't envision to begin with. So when we can get a veteran out and get them volunteering in their community, or just get them active, host a run, host a yoga event, get out to meet other people, and then they can find that passion and kind of apply it in a new area or last week they felt lost and miserable and frustrated, and now they're relaxed and welcomed, and it gives them that hope back.
And coupled with that, and I've said this, and probably maybe some people would get tired of hearing it, but you alluded to the fact that now they've ETS, they're out. Okay, they hit that ground still at 90 mile an hour, and then it's like, what am I going to do now?
Yep.
And compound that if they have any kind of medical. Okay, now that's on there too, that they have to deal with, medical or mental, either one. And it can overwhelm people. So again, the way you guys are going about it and what you're doing, I just think is commendable. And the amazing thing to me, it's the growth. So when you get that kind of growth, there's something going on. There's a need that's being met, and it's being met quickly. So you got to keep on keeping on. Share some more. I'm like the proverbial cheerleader, for good things. Yeah. So.
And it's important for civilians in the area to understand, the reason we're including you is that loss isn't a veteran thing. Like depression.
Sure.
All those thoughts and all those feelings and just daily stresses with 3 kids or, school and trying to compile all that into, and having a career and everything. It's not just veteran things. It's everybody goes through their moments where they need something, some kind of outlet or something to take their mind off of those daily things. So it's very beneficial to just an average person, no service connected. It's really an amazing thing when you get an email from somebody saying, "You've helped my family so much, and I don't feel like like this is a group that I'm worthy of." And they are just as important as our veteran members. Yeah. They really need to understand that. So I appreciate every civilian in the area that reaches out their hands and says, how can we help you guys? What can we do?
Yep.
So they're an integral role in getting this successful endeavor launched. So I took it over from a guy that transferred to Korea. And of course, there was 2 options. We give it to this other guy who's also transferring in a year, or, hey, she lives here.
Yeah.
She's not going anywhere. So I was like,
yeah.
I can barely lead my kids through the grocery store. So it was kind of overwhelming in the beginning.
Can I share something with you?
Public speaking and.
Can I share? I've never considered myself to be a leader, and then I still don't actually. But you know what makes a really great leader? They know how to be led. So, and I say that about my team with the 48. They're the ones that make me. I can make suggestions and I can try and steer us in the right direction, but they're the ones that do it. It's not me.
So I brought this quote that I carry around with me. So it says, "In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing."
Absolutely.
So as long as you're trying to do something, you might screw up a couple times, you might get yelled at. Hey, technically we can't do that. So you learn from it as you go, and as long as you're doing something, it's always better than doing nothing.
Exactly. See, and isn't that what I just said? The great leaders know how to be led. They can lead, but they know how to be led. Mm-hmm. So they learn. Yeah. And
when you have 105,000 members that are all trying to do something, you might not always be trying to do things right, but at least getting out there and making that small impact on a daily basis. We refer to it as Eagle Fire, and there's a lot of people on fire every day, and that is what makes Team Red, White, and Blue so successful. And
here's one. A lot of people don't realize this. Everybody I use that blanket statement, but looks at Abraham Lincoln as this great, great leader. And he was a great leader. But guess what? He was also a great failure at many things, too. And not only that, J.C. Penney, you go down the list, there have been some prominent people that failed. The difference is they didn't quit.
Exactly.
They kept on. So, Yeah.
Remember that at mile 22.
26.2. Yeah,
You
that's
might not be doing this right. You may be walking.
Yeah.
Hold the flag up high and just keep putting one foot in
As
front
all
of the other.
that's churning. I hear you.
So yeah, veterans, you know, you've sacrificed a lot. You've carried around a great number of burdens, but they feel like, you know, hey, my country's invested all this in me. The American taxpayers have paid all this money for me to go out and get training, and they feel this need to give back, pay it forward.
See, there you hit the nail on the head.
And so
Giving back.
in trying to
forward.
just get out there and do something, they're inspiring other people at the same time. So, and in doing that, they help themselves. And if we can reduce this likelihood that they're going to, you know, have that day where they're feeling not best or down or having those thoughts that we're trying to prevent, then that's what I try to do.
Sure.
Just one thing a day.
Yep.
Focus on something. You can't change the world, but you can change your backyard. Is something that Blaine Smith talked to us. We went down to Eagle Leadership Academy down in Tampa not too long ago, and sat in the room, and everybody told their why of why Team RWB. So, and like I said, I did 4 years in the Navy. I don't really have, I call it fantabular.
Yeah.
I don't have a great story. Undesignated seaman, they sent me to a helicopter squadron, so I think my tour was doomed the second they sent me there, because that's not typical. I didn't step foot on a ship until I got out of the service. So
You did your job, didn't you?
Yep.
Well, that's what matters.
And to sit around and hear their stories of some of the stuff that they've had to go through is really inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, you see somebody and you think, man, how are you still standing here? Like, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I would have made it through. And they're right there in front of you. You know, they might have a physical disability, but they're not sitting there dwelling on it on a daily basis. They've moved past it. They're trying to find some way to channel and tunnel their energy to help other veterans. And you're thinking, man, you should just take a step back, but at the same time they're helping themselves. That's what they need. So
yeah, real quick, I'm going to share this one with you. I was at an event, and it was a veterans event with a veterans organization. And here's a young guy. He did a tour in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's got, at both knees, he's got prosthesis. Guess who was working the hardest in that area we were setting up a dinner for? This young guy. And I looked at my people and I went, you know what? When somebody asks us to do something, I want you to remember what you're seeing right here. I want you to remember this young guy that's over there just busting it to help get this thing ready to go. And when you think you can't, you need to think again. All you have to do is say, I can, and then just do it.
Yep.
So
there's so much motivation just, being a member of this team and knowing and having met the people that we meet is enough to get us through every day.
Yeah. I'm not a great motivator, but one of the things that I was able to pass to my kids, because it was passed to me, was very simple. Can't, never could, can't, won't, and can't, never will. So if you've already believed those three things, you're right, you can't do it. But if you don't believe those three things and you do believe you can do it, you can do it. Might take you a while. You might have 3 or 4 different attempts to do what you think you can, but you can do it if you keep on keeping on. So, anyway.
So, Team Red, White, and Blue invests a lot of money and time and sweat and tears into developing their leaders. So, you come in and you're like, I can't lead anything. Like, I got to build a Facebook page and see if people can come out and do things with me. How do I do that? So, they've spent so much time and effort, like, helping me get through this. It's supposed to be a volunteer thing, so they ask you to only do about 5 hours a week, and
yeah, good luck with that.
It's like times 10, right? 50. So it's as much or as little as you put into it.
Sure.
So as with anything, like, the more you put into it, the more blood, sweat, and tears, the shinier the end result is. So sometimes I have to funnel back and slow down, but it gives us an opportunity to help a lot of people. there's always something going on veteran related in Bay County. So some of the
of course.
Some of the opportunities that we had with Harley Davidson to go out there and do the Eagle Up and Ride is one.
Yep.
They hosted our 5K for the Run is one.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice trails back there. There's so much in this area to do, and we have made some pretty good partnerships with the Panhandle Runners. Joe Edgecombe, he's stepped on to be our trail lead, so he takes us out and he knows all the trails in the area. He'll set up a group and take them out, and if there's walkers, he'll walk with them. We'll do lunches, and we have a kayaking event this weekend. Heroes on the Water is an organization that does like guided kayak tours for veterans.
That sounds like fun.
So we're gonna go out to Bonita Bay, and we're gonna have some kayaks, and I'll probably bring a couple paddle boards. Family friendly. We try to include kids as much as we can. I'm biased because I have 3, so if they can't come along, then what fun is it? So we're gonna cook out afterwards, but there's so many different organizations that want to help us and are offering up services, so it's kind of overwhelming to we don't have anything on the schedule till June. We're packed. So the members are really diverse. There's so many different things that you can get people out to do, so this is probably, we're beneficial to the weather here. We have nice weather, we'll say 10 months out of the year, whereas our chapters in Minot, North Dakota, spin class.
We're getting close to time here, but real quickly, let everybody know the website. You do post your events on the website, and they can traverse it. What's the website URL?
So the website is www.teamrwb.org. There's a section on the very top that says join the team. Team RWB doesn't charge any membership fees. Everything's free. You can be a civilian or a veteran. All you have to give is an email address and a zip code.
Email and a zip code.
They attach you to your chapter captain. So we get an email saying you have a new member.
And you are the chapter captain for Panama City.
Yes.
Correct. Good deal.
A veteran that signs up is given a free Nike dry fit shirt, kind of like this.
They're pretty nice too.
They have to fill out a veteran survey. So the biggest issue I get is, hey, I didn't get my survey. It always goes to your promotions folder. So if you're signing up and you're a veteran, it comes out the second that you click submit on your registration. You'll get a veteran survey from Team RWB. It'll go to your promotions folder or your junk mail. You fill that out, you pay a shipping fee, and they mail you your shirt, and you usually have it within 5 days.
Shipping fee's probably what, $4 or $5 or something? Yeah, so minuscule.
Then the next step is, I email you, I give you our schedule. If you're not on Facebook, we have a regular email that comes out. So that everybody's still aware of what the activities are.
Give them your email too.
My email is kelly.elrod@teamrwb.org.
Good deal. Good deal.
We have a Facebook page, Team RWB Panama City Facebook group. We post everything there. We post pictures. People can reach out and say, hey, does anybody do this in my area? We have members right now in our area all the way from Inlet Beach to Port St. Joe. So there's constantly something going on near you. If there isn't something going on in your area, reach out and email me and say, hey, I haven't seen a run over here. We're always looking for event hosts, people to come out and say, get their members in their area together to run or do yoga or go bowling or painting with a twist.
And real quick, do you have any active duty members as well? Good deal.
Lots of active duty.
So open to active duty as well.
Yes. Veteran is anybody that has served or is serving.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. We are about 11 seconds away, and I want to thank you for coming out. You have an open invitation to come back. Keep us in the loop on what's going on with Team RWB. I think you're doing a great job. Great organization.
Thank you for having me.
And I appreciate your service. Again,
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate it much.